You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you. You'd be like heaven to touch. I wanna hold you so much. At long last, love has arrived, and I thank God I'm alive. You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off you. Pardon the way that I stare. There's nothing else to compare. The sight of you leaves me weak. There are no words left to speak. But if you feel like I feel, please let me know that it's real. You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off you. Just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you. You'd be like heaven to touch. I wanna hold you so much. At long last, love has arrived, and I thank God I'm alive. You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off you.
On behalf of Jason and Kim, I welcome you all. Please be seated. Family and friends, we are gathered here today to be witness to this ceremony, celebrating the love and commitment that Jason and Kim have for each other. Our presence here with them today says that they together are loved by their family and friends. Marriage is an act of faith and a personal commitment, as well as a moral and physical union between the parties. It has been described as the best and most important relationship that can exist between two human beings. Marriage should be a lifelong commitment to the ideal of loving kindness, backed with the will to make it last. We have come to celebrate with them as they stand before us this day, where now Jason and Kim, in essence, say, welcome to our wedding. When a man and woman marry, they form a new family unit. A man and a woman leave their respective homes, but they do not leave their relationships with their parents and families. These relationships take on a new dimension. It is important for the bride and groom to feel the support of their family. And so we ask, who gives their support for this woman to be married to this man?
I do.
It is one of life's richest blessings.
Are we good?
Perfect. It is one of life's richest blessings when a chance meeting leads to a joining of lives and a shared journey as husband and wife. For marriage is a journey, not a destination. Jason and Kim first met at work in 2015 and quickly realized they had great chemistry together. Although raised on different sides of the world, Jason and Kim found they had similar interests like traveling and exploring the city and shared values of life. Jason and Kim took their first trip together to the Catskills over Valentine's Day in 2016, which sparked their love of upstate New York. Little did they know at that cozy bed and breakfast, as they celebrated with wine and chocolate after a long day skiing, that when they were picking out a wedding venue over a year later, the beautiful foliage of upstate New York would be their first choice. Since that trip, Jason and Kim have flown around the world together to amazing places like Grand Teton National Park, the Caribbean, India, and even back to Jason's home in Sydney. It was after a flight back from London that Jason surprised Kim with an incredible proposal in their Upper East Side apartment. Jason had candles, chocolates, and cheese ready when Kim walked in the door. But the real surprise was the gorgeous ring he gave her as he got down on one knee. She, of course, said yes, and here we are today. Long ago, they recognized something very special in each other, and love was born. As a result of this love, we have now all come here together on this very special day to watch the creation of their new relationship. On behalf of Jason and Kim, I want to thank you all for being here with them today and for supporting them through everything it has taken to make this day a reality. They appreciate your generous gift of time in being here to witness their wedding ceremony. To this moment, Jason and Kim bring the fullness of their hearts as a treasure to share with one another. They bring that personality and spirit which is uniquely their own, out of which will grow the reality of their life together. I speak now to Jason and Kim of love, in which the trust and freedom of the other person becomes as significant as the trust and freedom of oneself. I speak of all our hopes for your continued growth through patience, one for the other. May Jason and Kim keep the vows made on this day in freedom, teaching each other who they are, what they yet shall be, enabling them to know that in the fullness of being, they are more than themselves and more than each other, that they are all of us, and that together we share joyously the fruits of life on this earth. We now close our eyes and bring to mind any loved ones who could not be here with us today. Though they are absent physically, we invoke through our thoughts and prayers their loving presence. We pray that God might multiply beyond measure the blessings from these loved ones to this loving couple. Heavenly Father, we ask your blessings upon this couple. Bless this husband. May his strength be her protection, his character be her boast and her pride, and may he so live that she will find in him the haven for which her heart truly longs. Bless this loving wife. Give her a tenderness that will make her great and a deep sense of understanding. Give her that inner beauty of soul that never fades, that eternal youth that is found in holding fast the things that never age. May they never take each other's love for granted, but always experience that breathless wonder that exclaims, out of all this world, you have chosen me. When life is done and the sun is setting, may they be found then as now, still hand in hand, still thanking God for each other. May they serve you happily, faithfully, together, until at least one shall lay the other in the arms of God. Amen. I'd like to ask Chris Beer to give us a reading.
The Prophet by Khalil Gibran. You shall be together forevermore. You shall be together when the white wings of death scatter your days. You shall be together even in the silent memory of God. Let there be spaces in your togetherness, and let the winds of the heavens dance between you. Love one another, but make not a bond of love. Let it rather be a moving sea between the shores of your souls. Fill each other's cup, but drink not always from one cup. Give one another of your bread, but eat not from the same loaf. Sing and dance together, and be joyous, but let each one of you be alone, even as the strings of a lute are alone though they quiver with the same music. Give your hearts, but not into each other's keeping, for only the hand of life can contain your hearts. And stand together, yet not too near together, for the pillars of a temple stand apart, and the oak tree and the cypress grow not in each other's shadow.
Jason, do you take Kim to be your wedded wife?
I do.
Do you promise here today, with God and your friends as witnesses, that you be to her a faithful, loving, and devoted husband?
I do.
Do you promise to love her, provide for her, protect her, honor, and cherish her all the days of your life?
I do.
Do you promise to be faithful to her so long as you both shall live?
I do.
Kim, do you take Jason to be your wedded husband?
I do.
Do you promise here today, with God and your friends as witnesses, that you be him a faithful, loving, and devoted wife?
I do.
Do you promise you will love, honor, and cherish him all the days of your life?
I do.
Do you promise to be faithful to him so long as you both shall live?
I do.
It is a custom to exchange rings as a symbol of love. These rings will be evidence to the world of your marriage. The rings are a circle without end. May your love for each other and your marriage be as infinite as the circle of these rings. As often as either of you see them, you will be reminded of this moment and of the endless love you have promised. Jason, place the ring on Kim's finger and repeat after me. I, Jason, take you, Kim, to be my wife.
I, Jason, take you, Kim, to be my wife.
My faithful partner in life.
My faithful partner in life.
My constant friend.
My constant friend.
And my one true love.
And my one true love.
I promise to love you without reservation.
I promise to love you without reservation,
in sickness and in health,
in sickness and in health,
in plenty and in want,
in plenty and in want,
to stand together
to stand together
in our times of joy and sorrow,
in our times of joy and sorrow,
always to be open and honest with you
always to be open and honest with you,
for as long as we both shall live.
for as long as we both shall live.
Kim, place the ring on Jason's finger and repeat after me. I, Kim, take you, Jason, to be my husband.
I, Kim, take you, Jason, to be my husband,
You can face him, he'll pick it up. My faithful partner in life,
my faithful partner in life,
my constant friend,
my constant friend,
and my one true love.
and my one true love.
I promise to love you without reservation,
I promise to love you without reservation,
in sickness and in health,
in sickness and in health,
in plenty and in want,
in plenty and in want,
to stand together
to stand together
in our time of joy and sorrow,
in our time of joy and sorrow,
always to be open
always to be open
and honest with you,
and honest with you,
for as long as we both shall live.
for as long as we both shall live.
As you have just sealed your relationship by the giving and receiving of rings and the exchanging of vows, you have committed here at the setting of the sun to share the next day's sunrise and all of your days with each other. Today, right here, right now, this journey begins. We shall now perform a unity wine ceremony. The wine ceremony embraces traditions that began well before the medieval period. Then, a bride and groom would celebrate their pledge to each other by drinking wine from a single cup, one blood, one family, and one kin. The wine ceremony we will perform today was written for Jason and Kim and is a visual representation of the joining of these two very special people. Jason and Kim, these two goblets of wine represent your individual spirits, your individual connections with God, all that you are and all that you have been, as well as all that you will become. The glass in the center represents your marriage and how you are forever blending your lives together. It represents the joining of two spirits, two lives, two souls. Now I ask that you each take your individual glass and pour it into the center goblet. As you do so, keep in mind the pledges which you have made to each other.
I'll go first.
Now, your two individual lives are combined like the two wines. Just as these wines cannot be separated and poured back into their individual containers, neither can your lives be separated. I ask that you now drink the wine to symbolize the union you have created today.
Interesting taste. It's okay.
Step back.
Okay.
As of this moment, you are no longer two, but one, as you have consented to live in holy marriage and pledge the same by the giving and receiving of rings. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we humbly pray to you on this joyous day. We ask your blessings upon Kim's father, William Collin, who is deeply missed. He is thought of often, and we know that his spirit is here with us today. We ask your continued blessings for him as he looks down upon Jason and Kim and protects them. We thank you for the gift of marriage. Please let your richest blessings rest upon this couple who have here vowed their lives to each other. Please grant them happiness in each other's companionship and that they may have a long life together. May their quiver of children be full and their cup of joy overflowing. bestow upon the mercy and peace. Amen. Having pledged your faith in and your love toward one another, and having sealed your solemn vows by the giving and receiving of rings before God and these witnesses, now, by the power vested in me, by the laws of the state of New York, it is my honor and my delight to now pronounce you husband and wife. You may share your first marital kiss.
That was pretty good.
I present for the first time Mr. and Mrs. Jason and Kim Beer.
Just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you. You'd be like heaven to touch. I wanna hold you so much. At long last.
All right, everyone. I don't want to waste any time. We witnessed the beautiful ceremony. We enjoyed some cocktails. You guys ready to bring out our newlyweds? All right, and at this time, I'd like to turn your attention to our main entrance as we begin our introductions. All right, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, it's an honor and a privilege to introduce to you, make some noise for the new Mr. and Mrs. Jason and Kim Beer. And now for their first dance as husband and wife, their song is Can't Take My Eyes Off You by Frankie Valli.
You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you. You'd be like heaven to touch. I wanna hold you so much. At long last, love has arrived, and I thank God I'm alive. You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off you. stare. There's nothing else to compare. The sight of you leaves me weak. There are no words left to speak. But if you feel like I feel, please let me know that it's real. You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off you.
And now Jason and Kim would like to invite all guests here tonight to join them in their first dance. Everybody come on up.
And I thank God I'm alive. You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off you.
All right, if we can have your attention for just a few moments. I'd like to turn your attention to our sweetheart table where our best man Tony and our matron of honor Purvi will give our toasts.
G'day, how's it going? Welcome everyone. It's really great to see a whole lot of people here, albeit a lot of faces that I don't necessarily know, but obviously that's the nature of this thing. Thank you all for coming. We've had people travel here from a lot of different places, obviously locals. We've had people from Switzerland, and of course people from Australia. Phew. For those of you who don't know me, which is again probably most of you, my name's Tony. I'm the best man. I know Jason, aka Jace, aka Beezy, aka Idge. I don't remember why it's Idge. I don't know. We went to school together, Epping Boys High School. There's a few of the boys here tonight. We also worked together at two different places of work. I can't remember whether I got the jobs first or you did. It might have been 1-on-1, possibly. Anyways, so that's how we know each other, and obviously ever since then we've always kept in contact, as a lot of the boys have. I need to say this, obviously, the bridal party has spent a lot of the day getting ready, so it would be really bad of me not to acknowledge the fact that they all look really great tonight. That's all right. Obviously, the bride looks absolutely stunning. Kim, you look amazing. Beers, you look all right, mate. It's not too bad. It's okay. So, a few years ago, Beezy said to me, I'm going to go overseas for 6 months. I'm going to go to New York. I thought, oh, okay. Fair enough. And he took a job in New York through his company, as most of you would know. And obviously, being halfway around the world, keeping contact was kind of difficult. Thanks to technology, we did. We'd send each other random WhatsApp messages, and usually for me, it was either early in the morning or late at night, and I'm sure for Beezy, it was the same thing. And we just sort of catch up, and how's work going? Yeah, good. How's life? Oh, mate, New York, it's pretty good. Yeah, it's good. And anyways, one day, he said to me, I've been seeing someone. I said, oh, yeah, okay. Any details there, mate? He sent me through a picture of Kim, obviously. And got the picture and thought, ooh, wow, Jesus. Good on you, mate. But he didn't really say much more than that. He said that he's been seeing this girl. Yeah, fair enough. Anyways, time's gone on, and more and more of the messages involved Kim. So, what are you up to? Oh, I walked the High Line with Kim the other day. Okay, cool. What are you up to? Oh, I'm just at a rooftop bar. Yeah, Kim and I are here having a few drinks. Oh, yeah, sweet. Oh, yeah, I've gone on a road trip with Kim. Okay. Well, obviously this is getting pretty serious. So that's a good thing. Now, to be fair, and I don't want to stitch you up too much with this, Jace has dated a few girls in the past that were a little bit intense. Some of them kind of planned his life out for him. Yeah. There was one in particular whose parents may or may not have thought about extending their own house so he could live with them after about a month. Ugh. So, yeah, that was a bit interesting. But it's pretty clear with these two that they've been building their life together for the last couple of years as a couple. And, I mean, to be honest, I've never seen Jace more happy, and I've never seen him more serious about anything in his life and more sure. So it's really fantastic to see. Can't more than one of you do that, please? Help me out here. Jeez. There we go. Thank you. Thanks. Look, I mean, usually when people give a best man speech, they spend half of the time finding things that they can rip the groom about, or negative qualities or bad things and that sort of thing. To be honest, Jace is a really good bloke, and there's not a lot of bad things I can say about him. And if you ask most people that have known him for more than 5 minutes, they're going to say the same thing. In fact, just last week, one of our other mates, Rich, got married. Rich and Lisa, they're here tonight. So much so that he's a good bloke that all the boys left their wedding to video call Jace, including Rich. We all ran outside and wanted to catch up with him so he could be a part of that beautiful day. So, yeah, it just shows how much people really love him and appreciate, him as a person. So that was really fantastic. Plus, to be honest, he's also too smart to let people see the dumb stuff that he does. So he hides it pretty well. Good man. So there's a few things I'd like to share with you about him today, which I'm sure most of you probably know. But I want to share them anyway. And Kim, possibly just to reassure this decision you've made today. So the first thing I want to say about him is he's a genuine bloke. And in case you don't know what a bloke is, it's a guy. Just in case I might say a few things and you don't know what I'm talking about, so my apologies for that one. He's a genuine bloke. No one has a bad word to say about him. You see what you get. He's a good guy, and you know what you're getting when you talk to him. There's no hidden agendas. There's no rubbish like that. He speaks the truth. He's honest, and you always know what's going to happen. I heard an interesting story this week, and hopefully this person doesn't mind me telling this story, but if he does mind, too bad. I caught up with one of these blokes this week, Kish. He was his roommate when he first sort of moved to New York. And it was just a really nice story. I had to share it. Basically, Kish was living in New York, and he wasn't really happy with his living situation, but he heard there was this random Australian bloke moving in with him. And he thought, okay, fair enough. So anyways, Beersy moved in, and Kish said to me, just straight away, I knew we were going to be friends. I knew we were going to be mates. And Kish ended up staying in that living situation for another 8 months. They went out together, they partied, they hung out. Even nights when Beersy didn't really want to go out, they went out. And just the fact that, they bonded so instantly, it just shows what a genuine guy that Jace is, and how easily it is for him to make friends. So I heard that this week, and I just thought that was something, really, it just really reflects positively on Jace. So, yeah, that's just something nice. Another thing about him, he's very determined and committed. So if he puts his mind to something, or he decides he's going to do it, he sticks to it. He doesn't flake. In fact, when he initially moved to New York, he didn't even want to. But he said he would, so he did. Good on you. I kind of thought I didn't think you would, but you did. One of his go-to lines actually was, get it done. So he gets it done. He always gets it done. We've had a lot of friends come over this way in the last few years for various reasons, honeymoons, holidays, that sort of thing. And Busy's always committed to meeting them. T-Bone, who's here tonight, he came to New York to visit. 4 of the 6 nights that T-Bone was in New York, Jace came out to meet him, hung out, catch up, show him around the city. Okay, really fantastic. Longy and Kate, Busy went and met them in Nashville. They had a great time down there together while they were on their honeymoon. Rich and Lise, he crashed their little honeymoon, well not honeymoon, but preemptive honeymoon maybe now. He crashed their little holiday in Mexico and Vegas. And again, you know, from New York, it's not close, but the fact that he knew they were coming out this way and he thought, oh, I should go see them. So it's fantastic. I remember back in the day, we used to go to the beach a lot. Where we lived was about 45 minutes from the beach. And I ring him up in the morning, be like, oh, you busy? The sun's out. Let's go to the beach. He'd say, oh yeah, I'm just in the middle of a workout. Let me finish my workout, have my protein shake, mow the lawns, clean the house, and then we'll go to the beach. And I thought, oh, okay, well, he's not going to say no, so all right, you do those things, and then we'll go to the beach. Fair enough, mate. No worries. One other thing. I lied a bit. I said you can't say a bad thing about the guy. I got a couple of things. If he's ever asked you to go to lunch, you know that it's not lunch. It's lunch, then it's dinner. Then it's possibly breakfast the day before because the guy eats so friggin' slowly. Most people have finished their meal, they've sat around for a bit, they're ordering another meal, and he's had 2 bites of his. And then you also know that you're going to need a lot of serviettes or napkins because he's possibly the only human being on this planet that will eat a burger, and he loves a burger, by the way. He'll put it down on the plate. Who puts a burger down mid-meal? Who does that? The sauce is going everywhere, the patty's falling off the bun, the lettuce is getting soggy. It's a mess. It's a bloody mess. Oh, jeez. Another thing about him is there was a time we went on a road trip. And this isn't necessarily a quality, it's really just a funny story, really. There's a time we went on a road trip up to Byron Bay. It's a beautiful coastal town in New South Wales. A bunch of the boys went for New Year's Eve. And anyways, we've been sort of having a few drinks all day, and I guess your coordination goes a little bit out the window when you've been drinking. Anyways, we're getting ready to go out at night. I'm in the bathroom getting ready. Busy's in the room next to me. Now I thought, oh, I'm going to multitask. I'm going to brush my teeth and go to the toilet. Silly. Anyways, I'm doing that. I drop my toothbrush in the toilet. Busy hears this. Oh. He said, what's wrong? I said, oh, I've just dropped my toothbrush in the toilet while I was going to the toilet. He goes, well, you're an idiot. Why would you do that? That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Oh, yeah, I know, I'm sorry. That's silly. Anyways, 5 minutes later, the roles are reversed. I'm getting changed. He's decided to do the same thing as I. Funny that. I just hear this, doom. Ah, oh, crap. I run in, I'm like, you all right? He's like, I've just done the same thing you've done. I'll never forget that one. And Kim, don't worry. After that, he did get a new toothbrush. That's all right. That's okay. We made sure of that. On another trip we had, we went surfing. Problem is, Busy doesn't surf. He actually called me up about a month before the trip. He said, oh, I really want to get into surfing because, I know a few of the boys are going to be doing that, so, I want to be involved. I'm like, oh, that's good. I'm glad you want to, be a part of it all. So I went with him. We bought a surfboard, all that kind of stuff. We went out once or twice. Anyways, we got up. We're away. Woke up in the morning. Surf's pumping. We're really excited. We're like, yeah, let's go. So we get down to the beach in the morning. It's actually quite large surf. sort of not beginner stuff, very large. But the rest of the boys were all so excited. We paddle out, oh, let's go, Busy. And he's like, yeah, okay, let's go. We paddle out, we get out there. Then we're kind of looking at each other and we're going, do you think Busy should be out in this surf? I look at Rich. I look at another bloke who's not here tonight. I'm like, oh, he'll be fine. Don't worry, he'll be fine. Anyways, set rolls in. It's probably maybe 6-7 foot maybe. We all get absolutely annihilated. Like all of us, just limbs going everywhere. We're flailing around. We pop up, catching our breath. Oh, crap. And then all of a sudden it dawns upon me. Oh, no. Where's Jace? Oh, dear. We see him out in the distance, paddling his ass off, trying to get away from the wave. Luckily, he made it. He got out there. But you know what? He stuck with it. And he casually comes back in at the end and we said, oh, how was that? And he's like, yeah, it's okay. You want to go for a surf the Savo? Oh, look, I might just sit on the beach for that one. That's all right. It's all good. No worries, mate. There was one thing you did get from that experience, though, and you may see this later tonight. In fact, you will see this later tonight. May not have kept up the surfing as much, possibly because of the fact he's in New York, but he did get his signature dance move from this experience. We like to call it the surfer, and it goes a little bit like this. And you will see that tonight. He actually took that away with him to a music festival with a few other people. He used this move all night at the Chai tent, which was some sort of a supposed little arena they had. And he met a whole lot of yoga instructors. And they seemed to love the surfer. They were all doing the surfer by the end of the night. They all wanted to be like this fella right here. So obviously, as funny it is, he was very influential on that. So good on you. Back to more serious stuff, though. Another thing about him is he's a very kind, caring, and generous person. Throughout my life, he's always been there for me. I know I can always rely on him. I can ring him up when I've got a problem, or even when things are going great. He'll always be really stoked for me and, want to have a chat, which is, what you want of a friend. We'd go out a lot together on the weekends, out to the city, or maybe just to Epping on a Wednesday night, which is our local area. And we used to live kind of close to each other, so we'd always end up at the end of the night getting a kebab, which for you New Yorkers is sort of like the street meat equivalent, and just walk home with our kebabs, talking a bit of crap. But I was only about a 15-minute walk away. I'm like, oh, this is me, Busy. And he's like, yeah, no worries. I'll catch you next week. I'll call you tomorrow. And this poor bloke would still have another 30-minute walk on his hands. But he never complained, just sort of carried on his business and, no dramas. And, even in the middle of winter, I don't know how he really did that. But anyways, I think in our minds, cabs did not exist. So, going back to what I was talking about, going to the beach. He would always volunteer. He'd always say, oh, yeah, I'll drive us to the beach. No dramas, no worries. Take all the boys in the van. Probably because he had a van. It's the only one. The beer family had a purple van with a sunroof, and it was easy to fill up in. And to add to that, after the beach, we'd usually just go home to our homes, but we thought, oh, hey, Busy, can we come back to your place? He had a pool. We had a pool. So by the time we drove back from the beach, we're ready for another swim. So we'd turn up, have a swim, play a bit of Nintendo, which he had back then, a bit of Mario Kart. He'd make us all a tuna sambo, because he loves his tuna. And then we'd also follow that up with a little bit of a quick kettlebell session from Chris Beer. I don't know if you guys know, but Chris Beer pretty much brought the kettlebell to Australia. We can thank him for that lovely piece of fitness equipment. Thank you, Chris. It's very great. So most of you know that Scott, I'm getting ahead of myself. Jason has two brothers, Scott and Simon. They've obviously been a big part of his life. They're quite a tight family, really. Personally, I haven't seen them in quite a few years because they've both been overseas, related to their careers and doing various things and travel. But being able to catch up with them this week, it's become very obvious that, a lot of the great qualities that Jason has, I see it in the other two boys. And, all three of them, really great blokes. And I think a lot of that has a lot to do with Chris and Jill Beer and the way they've obviously brought them up. Give them a clap. Whenever you go around to their house, the entire Beer family just so loving, so open. They seem to have a really, good relationship, and it's very apparent now that Jason's been a really big influence on the lives of Scott and Simon, and these two young men are really also good blokes. I think it's these qualities that that we all see is why you guys are all here tonight, because you obviously see Jason as also a really good person, and you've committed to coming to this wedding, especially the people from Australia. It's also why I consider him my best mate, because he's a great guy, really fantastic. Kim, I sent a message to Purvy during the week, and I asked her, what are some things about you that I don't know? Because we've only really met a handful of times. Having said that, the vibe that I got from you and the demeanour is nothing but fantastic. Anyways, she told me these things, and I just wanted to alleviate some concerns you may have had about these qualities. So she said to me that you love being on time. Now, another trait about Jace back home used to be that in his car, in his bedroom, in the kitchen, he'd always set his clocks 5 minutes ahead of time, just so he could be on time. I always thought I was late coming to his house or going out with him, and then one day I realised that, nope, it's not me. He's just set his clocks early. So I think you'll be fine there. She also told me that you have a hard time recognising people's faces. You're in luck. Jace has developed fantastic ways of getting around that. Oh, hey, buddy. How you going? It's great to see you, mate. Oh, look. And then someone else turns up. Oh, hi. You remember? Yeah, you remember. And then they introduce each other. Problem solved. He's got many of those tricks, so don't you worry. She also said that you love counting down to events. Like, obviously, positive events. Beezy doesn't necessarily have the countdown factor, but when something's coming up, he gets excited for it. Beezy, how good's this wedding going to be? Oh, mate, I'm looking forward to the wedding. Beezy, it's starting to warm up now. Summer's coming. Oh, how good's summer going to be? Beezy, I'm really hungry. Oh, how good's the burger going to be right now? So I think also secretly, he really does look forward to things too, just as much as you. But seriously though, we're all stoked to have you in our lives now. Obviously you mean a lot to Jason and he means a lot to you. He's really lucky to have you and to be marrying you today, so congratulations, and we're really happy to have you around. I think you should also appreciate the fact that he's even changed his accent for you. So we all noticed that. His accent's different now, so yeah. Jason, Jace, Beezy, Idge, the 1,000 other things we'd call you. I think I speak on behalf of all the boys when I say we're all proud of you. We're really happy for you, and we're really honoured to be able to celebrate this magical day with you. I know there's a few boys that couldn't be here tonight, Longy, Klaz, Mfau, Kanali, Dubba, but they all sent their best. They all specifically wanted me to tell you that, and that they hope that you have a fantastic day. Now, I want to do a toast, but before I do this toast, I need to get something. Now, for those of you that don't know, Beersy's favourite beverage. It's not beer, it's not water, it's not juice. It is milk. Whenever I'd go around to his house, he always had a 3-litre milk. After a workout, he'd have a glass of milk. After a night out, a glass of milk. After being in the pool, a glass of milk. Every time. Inappropriate times to drink milk. He would drink milk. So, I'd like to ask you all to raise your glasses. To Jason and Kim, congratulations. I hope you have a happy life together. Cheers.
Hello, everybody. My name is Purvi, and I am Kim's maid of honor, although she will make me say matron of honor, but that sounds horrible. So anyway, I met Kim in 2013 when we were both at orientation for our graduate program in London. So I've only known her for 5 years, but in that time, we have traveled to 11 different countries together. I did the math. We've been neighbors, co-workers at a pub crawl, classmates, along with Daria, classmates, roommates, and best friends. We've shared hundreds of fuzzy nights and hungover mornings, and counting this glass right here, we have drank 34,201 glasses of wine together. That's not actually true. It's not that much, but I thought it sounded impressive. It's far off. It's closer to like 31,000. So at this point, I think I know her pretty well. And for those of you who don't know her pretty well, one of Kim's most distinct characteristics is that she has very high standards. She loves things being a very specific way. She's a perfectionist, and she works very, very hard to make sure everything is always perfect. Those of you who work with her know that's true in her work stuff. Those of you who hang out with her know that's true in her daily life. And Jason, I know you definitely know that that's true. So I knew that when Kim finally met her match, he would have his work cut out for him. When I met Jason back in 2015, I saw how good he and Kim were as a couple, but I knew that there had to be something that would tell me that, this was it. Fast forward a couple of years. One night over dinner, Kim told me about a funny story about something silly that Jason did. A few days prior, she had asked Jason to bring her some chocolate. 75% dark chocolate, to be specific. So this was a seemingly simple task, but it became very complicated very quickly. Jason went to the grocery store, and he only found two different options, 72% or 95%. So put yourself in Jason's shoes. He's thinking, Kim is like a very specific person, she has very high standards, and I need to get her the best possible chocolate here. Now, most of you guys know that 72% chocolate probably is like a bitter chocolate, but it's like a good bitter, like a dark cup of coffee or, a full-bodied red wine. 95% chocolate tastes like dirt. But Jason, knowing that Kim had these high standards and that she really liked things a very specific way, and thinking that it met her like minimum requirements, ends up choosing 95% dark chocolate. So she's telling me the story, and I knew that Kim really likes things done in a very specific way, and I thought she would be annoyed, but it ended up being that she was just super enamored by how adorable this story was. And it was at that moment that I realized that Kim met her match. So I'm gonna have two toasts tonight, and the first toast is to Jason, who not only loves and accepts Kim for having ridiculously high standards, but also goes to the ends of the world to make it happen. And to Kim, who found a man who definitely does not understand chocolate, but understands her very well. So to Kim and Jason. I'm done. I love you too.
Night we'll see.
So, how is everyone doing now? Great, great. Good on ya. As I was leaving the rehearsal yesterday, I got a lift with Bob and Judy down to the City Beer Hall. And as we were driving along, I was looking out the window, admiring the spectacular Albany sunset. And just in the western sky, I noticed a little bright green and yellow light. And I thought, what was that? Katie and I both photographed it. And as the clouds parted, it was clear it was a little bit of a rainbow, but in the shape of a ring. So I thought, how cool is that? A rainbow ring for a rainbow couple here. So hasn't this been a brilliant, shining wedding to remember forever? How gorgeous does the bride look? Oh. And how handsome the groom. They say the apple never falls too far from the tree. And how gorgeous also the matron of honor or maid of honor, where is she? Call your maid. And the bridesmaids. And debonair and dashing, I think that would be the groomsman and the best man. And finally, how wonderful to see Jason and Kim married. In a wedding to bring joy to the Colin and Beer families, and a marriage to fulfill the dreams and hopes of Bill and Judy Collin and Jill and Chris Beer. To all the assembled guests, it's been great to meet you, and Jill and I look forward to getting to know you much better. And it's great also to see all these familiar faces, including those who made the long trip up from down under to here. Go Team Australia! Now, despite being super busy with the organisation of this absolutely dazzling event, Jason and Kim somehow found the time to help us with travel bookings and hotel research and recommendations. I don't know how they found the time, but then I thought, you know what? They're in the industry and they've had some great training. Thank you, Agodians. So, Jason and Kim, October 6, 2018 is your special day. And it's the start of your new life as a married couple. So, what's important here for the oldies, for the parents, okay? Well, for the Beer family, it's to welcome Kim into our family, and we do so warmly and with great delight. It's also important for us to welcome the Collin family, to stand alongside the Beer family in supporting the future happiness, wealth, and prosperity of Kim and Jason. And for all of us here, it's to welcome Kim and Jason as the new Mr. and Mrs. Beer. To Jason, we say, you have indeed chosen wisely. And as Tony pointed out, there were a few goes before. Our whole family knew in our hearts that Kim was the one for you. And we knew this because we saw how happy you were with her. And after you brought her to Sydney last year and we had that great week in Manly, we were doubly certain. So as you face your untold future, and which will one day be your history, you have alongside you a most beautiful, warm, and loving person. with her own untold future and history to share with you. As parents, we could hope for no better. And to Kim, we say, yes, you have indeed chosen wisely too. We know Jason is right for you. From the moment we saw him take his first breath, and through all the precious moments of childhood, we saw the signs of character. From the time he was defending his little brothers against a very savage dog in Granny Smith Park. You might have forgotten that, but a father remembers these things, you know, putting himself in harm's way at such an early age. And his devotion to family and to his mum and dad and brothers, it's legend. His wise choice in friends, all decent, principled, outstanding young people. His great ability to study hard and get academic success. And then his love of sport, Manchester United, action, travel and adventure. You know, he's a real fun guy. At the same time, he has a keen sense of justice and what's right and wrong. And as several people have already mentioned, we constantly saw over the years his unique sensitivity and care for others. And he has an uncanny ability to listen, and is a gifted communicator, able to make anyone feel good. So what does the future hold for the new Mr. and Mrs. Beer? Well, we hope that their home will be the dearest spot on earth for them. We hope for the good things, for all the fame, fortune and riches that you will probably deserve, okay? But we also know that no one knows what kind of storm or sunshine is going to come into their life. And so when those challenges come, we know that it is your love which will sustain you anywhere and everywhere through anything and everything. And Jill and I know no better description of such love as these few lines, which I'll read out. Because we've talked about love, we'll just dig down a little bit deeper to what it means. Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails. So, can I ask you all to stand at this moment? Not you. On behalf of all of us here, and all family and friends, past and present, who couldn't be here today, could you repeat after me, please? Jason and Kim. May the love you share bring joy and happiness to you and all. Forever. Thank you. Okay, buddy.
Thanks, mate.
I'm glad I could do it. Oh. You're in family?
Yeah. All right, it's me. Yeah. Okay. Hi, everybody, and welcome. I want to start by telling you all
about the very first time that Kim and I ever saw each other. Not many people know the finer details of this story, and I thought, what better time to share it than here and now with all of you? So, on that fateful morning, I remember being at work in the office, and I heard the doorbell to the office ring. And I started walking towards the door and to open it for whoever was there. And at that time, in my head, there were two likely people that could have been ringing the doorbell. I thought, it could be a colleague that's forgotten their swipe badge. And the second thought was that it's probably one of the delivery guys dropping off letters and packages and so forth. Typically rather gruff, impatient type blokes. So as I'm walking towards the door and reaching for the door handle, thinking that I'm about to have a bunch of letters, packages thrust into my hands and a signature demanded, I opened the door and standing there was this stunningly gorgeous blonde girl. And it was Kim. And I remember thinking, wow, who is this girl? I didn't know that we were interviewing anybody that day, but I introduced myself, invited her in. She went off and did her interview, and I went back to work. And we didn't see each other for the rest of the day, actually. But at the end of the day, I remember striding up to the boss's office. I popped my head in the door and I said, hey, you remember that girl we interviewed earlier today? Are we going to hire her? And of course we did, and 3.5 years later, here we are, officially husband and wife. Now, I want to say a big thank you to everybody here for coming along and blessing us with your company. It means a lot to Kim and I to have such close friends and family here celebrating with us. There are people here that have journeyed literally from the other side of the world to be here. So from the bottom of our hearts, thank you so much. Now, for some individual thank yous and call-outs. Firstly, Judy and Katie, thank you for welcoming me with open arms into the Cullen family. Judy, you are truly one of the most organised people I know. I remember numerous times on the train down to your place picking out dinner orders so that you could have it ready for us when we arrived. It's always a treat when we come to stay at your place by the beach. Now, I've sometimes heard stories of Kim being a bit of a handful as a child, but I know that you are super proud of her today. You helped raise her into the woman she is today. So, thank you. Katie, you are Kim's little sister, who she absolutely adores, and I've come to see as a little sister as well. We're so stoked that you are now living in the city, so close to us. I hope we can hang out a lot more, and I'm sure we will. Sadly, I never had the pleasure of meeting Kim's dad, Bill, although from all the stories I've heard, I'm sure we would have got on really well. And I know that he would be super proud seeing Kim today, so excited, full of joy, and looking even more beautiful than usual. Mum and Dad, my role models and inspiration. If Kim and I can make our marriage anywhere near as successful as you two have, we will be two very happy people. You guys have done all right. You've raised 3 great sons. Well, 2 of them have still proven themselves to be pretty mediocre in most aspects of life, but we don't really need to get into that now. Seriously though, I couldn't have asked for more of the love, guidance and support you've always shown me. You guys know how much you mean to me. It's funny how things work out. I remember when I decided to move over here, Mum came to me and she said, Jace, you know what? I'm okay with you moving over to America. I'm okay with you moving to New York. As long as you don't meet a girl over there, fall in love with her, and decide to get married in America. And I said to her, Mum, come on. There is no chance that that is going to happen. I'll be home within a year. And I honestly believed that at the time. But of course, Mum and Dad, you guys warmed to Kim immediately. The first time you met her in person at Sydney Airport, you gave her a giant hug. I know that you are super stoked to welcome her into the beer family and as your daughter-in-law. Scott and Simon, although we've lived at opposite ends of the world at different times, we're never more than a text message away. There's an outrageous amount of banter and laughter when the three of us are in the same room, and we really have a bond that only brothers can have. You both really liked Kim immediately when you first met her, and I know that she's super stoked to have two new brothers. Groomsmen and the rest of the crew that travelled internationally to be here, thank you guys so much for making the journey over here. You guys were amongst the first to jump in and commit to coming to this wedding, and what a bunch of mates. I can't really say any more than that. Tony, you organised this ragged bunch of groomsmen into a respectable-looking group of young men, which is no mean feat. Thanks for organising everything from afar, mate. I don't know how you did it, but thanks for everything. Bridesmaids, you all look absolutely stunning today. You threw an incredible bachelorette for Kim and wedding shower. Thanks for being great friends and a sister to Kim. And of course, to my beautiful wife. Today is really all about us. We put so much planning and preparation into today, as well as looking forward to this day for 18 months. And what a day it's been so far. We saw early on that we had great chemistry together. We really do make a great pair. Whether it's traveling around the world together or dancing like fools in our apartment whilst cooking dinner, whether it's sharing a coffee, planning our next adventure, or taking a nap, we really do understand one another. We get on so well, and we have a ridiculous amount of fun together. But importantly, we also have similar values and ideas and shared ideas about many of the bigger things in life. I can't wait to see what the future has in store for us. Whatever it is, we'll be tackling it together. What a life full of love and adventure and joy we have ahead of us. I love you, and now I encourage everyone to eat up, drink up, and let's party!
Somebody save your soul, cause you've been sinning in the city. I know too many troubles, all these lovers got you losing control. You like a drug to me, a luxury, my sugar and gold. I want the good life every good night, you're a hot one to hold. Cause you don't even know, I can make your hands clap. Said I can make your hands clap. Somebody save your soul, cause you've been sinning in the city. I know too many troubles, all these lovers got you losing control. You like a drug to me, a luxury, my sugar and gold. I want your sex and your affection when they're holding you close. Cause you don't even know,